The story opens in a town haunted by disappearance. A man walks into a cafe, ordering a winter mint cheesecake to go. Outside, his old van sits, filthy and neglected. He drives it far from town to a remote location. This man is the kidnapper of several missing girls. Today, the cake is for Grace, a girl he is holding captive. Grace pleads to go back to her father. Coldly, he tells her her father doesn't care enough to find her. He claims he drove 20 minutes just to bring her the cake and insists she eat it. Suddenly, a police officer attacks from behind. Grace's face is turned away. The kidnapper is killed instantly. The officer places Grace in the van and drives her home. From a distance, he waves goodbye. Grace rings the doorbell. Her father, Edward, opens the door, overjoyed. Grace, starving, is quickly fed. Edward calls Officer Maddie, telling her Grace returned on her own. Maddie instructs him not to change Grace's clothes and to take her to the hospital immediately. At the hospital, Grace is examined and her clothes are collected as evidence. Fortunately, she is unharmed. The next day, police question her. Grace explains that a cop saved her. Officers are shocked. Maddie asks if the cop drove her in his own car. Grace shakes her head. He used the kidnapper's van, still parked outside her house. Police rush to the van. Maddie is puzzled. How could a girl kidnapped for 15 days return alone? Who was this unknown cop? At the house, the van is empty. Police trace the plates back to the kidnapper's home. They find him dead. Maddie calls Edward. The man's name is Will Rave. He had been married twice. His second wife died during childbirth. Police search the property. They find her grave. Around it, in a circular pattern, lie the bodies of 4 children. This man was the town's feared kidnapper, but the question remained, who saved Grace? Maddie investigates the cafe where the kidnapper bought the cake. She requests CCTV footage. Edward worries, but Maddie insists they need to question Grace further about the cop. Photographs of every local officer are shown. Grace doesn't recognize anyone. Maddie then takes Edward and Grace to the cafe itself. Again, Grace sees someone familiar, a photo of a cop on the wall. She points and says, "That's him." Maddie asks, "You mean Jim?" The cafe owner asks if everything is all right. They step outside. Edward asks who this officer is. Maddie explains that Jim died in this very cafe a year ago. Grace must have seen someone resembling Jim. At 2:35 a.m., station lights flash red. CCTV footage shows the van moving on its own. Screens throughout the police station display the same footage. Grace sees Jim standing in front of her. Maddie sees him too. Both flee in terror. Maddie drives off in her car. Grace returns to her father, frightened. She asks to sleep with him, claiming Jim is in her room. Edward tucks her in and checks the room. There, behind him, stands Jim. The next morning, Maddie wakes in her car. She texts Edward to meet her. She is disturbed by the footage. Edward admits Grace also saw a presence overnight. Meanwhile, another girl, Nia, faces danger. Her mother, stuck in traffic, tells Nia to walk home. On her way, someone follows and kidnaps her. Nia's mom files a report. Maddie, skeptical, thinks Nia may have run off. But Nia's phone was turned off shortly after school, despite being allowed for emergency. This raises alarm. Police spot a black van on CCTV. Nia was either kidnapped in it or knew the driver. Maddie questions Nia's mom, Safia, about Nia's father. Lamar Thompson died of cancer 3 years ago. Maddie suspects someone knew about Nia's phone. Safia grows angry. She insists her daughter is in danger. Meanwhile, Nia is held in a room by a man, warned to obey if she wants to survive. Back at Grace's house, her mother has returned. Edward receives a call from Maddie. Another girl is missing. He tells Grace not to mention Jim. Safia pleads through the media for her daughter's return. Police investigate the school. Nia's surname had been changed. Her biological father is Tyrell David, the same man who killed Jim in the cafe a year ago. Safia had lied, fearing police wouldn't search thoroughly if they knew the truth. Grace begs Maddie not to share anything with the press. Meanwhile, Grace's mother apologizes to Edward. She had left him to party with a friend. They had bought pills, and her friend died after taking them. Terrified, Grace's mother confesses she had given the pill to him. At that moment, Jim appeared, giving her plane tickets and telling her to go home. Edward tells her, "I am glad you are back." The police chief is furious with Maddie. He scolds her for missing vital information and threatens to transfer her if she doesn't solve the case in 7 days. Maddie brings up the Jim connection, but the chief snaps, demanding she stop speaking about ghosts. Frustrated, Maddie goes to the cafe to speak with the owner about Jim's death. The cafe owner explains that Jim was a regular that day. Tyrell Davis had burst in, robbed the cafe, and shot Jim. Despite being wounded, Jim was taunted until Tyrell fatally shot him in the face. Maddie asks the cafe owner Mason if he has seen Jim since. Mason tells her about 2:35 a.m., the time Jim died. On that exact hour, Jim appeared to it. At first, Mason could not believe it. Jim spoke, saying he felt guilty because his wife Olivia never got to see him before he was buried. Jim said she deserved to see his face. Mason explains that Jim is capable of miracles. When Mason told Jim his cafe was failing, Jim promised to help, asking only for Mason to put up his picture. The cafe soon flourished. Maddie shares this with Edward. The cafe owner confirms Jim's power. Edward admits he met Jim that night too. Jim offered him anything he wished. Edward wanted his wife Kelly to return as a caring mother. Jim granted this, but took something from Edward in return. Maddie insists she wants to meet Jim. Edward tells her to come to his house at 2:30 a.m. to see if Jim will appear. Before that night, Maddie consults a priest about ghosts. The priest warns her against trusting. He explains ghosts disobeyed God's command when they lingered on Earth. That night, Maddie meets Jim at Edward's house. The scene shifts the next day to Maddie visiting Nia's mother. She asks for a younger photo of Nia, insisting it is vital to finding her. Maddie collects 10 days of CCTV from local stores and gives it to her partner Parker to analyze for the black van. Maddie meets Tyrell Davis at the law enforcement center. She shows him Nia's childhood photo, asking questions before leaving. Meanwhile, someone calls Nia's phone and hangs up. Parker discovers from security footage that the van appears daily at 10 a.m. He tracks its path and finds a closed motel. A burner phone is discovered in a trash bag nearby. Maddie instructs him to call for backup and wait. Tyrell pulls a hidden knife in his cell. Police arrive at the motel, find Nia safe, and reunite her with her mother. The chief praises Maddie, though the investigation is not fully complete. Tyrell then commits suicide in his cell. Parker finds a note on Nia's photo in Maddie's car. Something is written on the back. Parker asks the store manager if Maddie revealed what led her there, but the manager knows nothing. Parker calls Maddie to lunch. He explains that while both girls are safe, the kidnapper may still have help from an insider. He notes Maddie visited the motel the day before. Maddie explains that Jim gave her Nia's address, but in return, she must accept him as her ghost guide. She agrees. Edward provides Maddie the address downstairs. Parker shows Maddie the note on Nia's photo and confirms it's her handwriting. Maddie explains everything. Jim asked Edward to take action against Tyrell Davis in exchange for his help. Edward kidnapped Tyrell's daughter, Nia, under Jim's guidance. Jim demanded that Tyrell end his own life to save her. The call Nia received was from Tyrell himself, promising he would comply if Nia was spared. Parker prepares to report this to authorities, but Maddie explains that Jim has also cured his stage 3 cancer. Parker, skeptical, goes for retesting. The next day, doctors confirm Parker is completely healthy. He then visits Edward's house. Upstairs, Jim appears to Parker. He instructs him to accept his hand and accept him as the only ghost. It becomes clear that all involved, Edward, Maddie, even Parker, have, in a way, pledged their souls to Jim. With this, the story concludes. The kidnapped girls are safe, the kidnapper eliminated, and the mysterious ghost Jim has ensured justice at a cost to those who sought his help. His presence lingers as both protector and enforcer.
End the movie? If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out our other recaps and subscribe for more content. And leave comment below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.